Beyonce couldn't get pregnant, not naturally. What I do know is this. Beyonce got on that stage with that fake baby bump. It was lined up with the same timing of where Kathy White would have been in her second trimester. The timeline of when she delivered Blue Ivy lines up almost perfect with the timeline of when Kathy White would have delivered. We all know that Blue Ivy came from a surrogate. They shut that hospital down like a president had just been. And parents who had just had children themselves weren't even allowed to see their own kids for 24 hours because of the security that was locking that whole thing down.
$1.3 million is alleged that Beyonce and Jay-Z, the Carters, paid this hospital to have the right.
Reveals that when Jay's ex-lover Kathy White died, she was carrying Blue Ivy. People have been speculating about this for a while, especially since Jaguar Wright openly held Bianca accountable for Kathy's death. Bianca allegedly took the baby that Kathy was carrying from Jay just before Kathy died, in addition to forcing Jay to remove Kathy, according to the accusations. The infant was named Blue Ivy. It appears that Bai faked Kathy's pregnancy while she was expecting Blue. As soon as they brought Kathy out and had Blue, Bai immediately widely disseminated the news of her birth on blogs. Despite being the last person anyone anticipated getting engaged in this, Katt Williams started talking and is now supported by Jaguar's claims. People had really forgotten about this was the case up until last year, when Bianca's album Cowboy Carter was released. The album featured the song Daughter, which is believed to be Bianca's confession that she killed Kathy. Bianca allegedly told her lover in the song that she had helped her conceal the fact that she had unlived her beloved's mistress. Some people also believe that the song's title refers to Blue Ivy, who they believe to be the daughter Kathy was carrying when she died. Your body is spread out on these filthy floorboards, the lyrics read. Your blood stains on my handcrafted garments. Bathroom attendant, let me right in. She was very much in awe. I tried my hardest to be composed, but me solitude was disturbed by your arrogance. I tore your dress, and now you're all black and blue. Look what you made me do. Even though I'm the complete opposite of altar boys and choir boys, they keep saying that I'm not like my father at all. If you cross me, I'll act like my dad. I am cooler than the water of the Titanic. As I said before, some people think the words were too complex to be just a song, and others say it was just a song. More research was done over time, and certain things just didn't add up, even though Kathy was supposedly killed by a brain aneurysm at the time of her death. We ought to return to August. Beyoncé revealed her pregnancy on the 28th of 2011 at the MTV VMAs, which many people find odd given the time frame of her delivery and Kathy's passing. During Kathy's purported pregnancy, on January 12, 2012, Bai is reported to have given birth to Blue. A few days before Beyoncé's due date, Kathy was also found dead at her home. At the start of the new year, Bianca makes an unexpected announcement about the birth of Blue. Well, people continue to think that Kathy was never genuinely pregnant and that Bianca and Jay blew through surrogacy with her as the surrogate. As you can observe, with regard to ingestational surrogacy, the surrogate carries the embryo, but she has no genetic connection to the child. The embryo is created using the intended parent's sperm and eggs.
What must have been a fake baby bump visually collapsed as she sat down. I admit, that did look weird, but maybe it was a weird camera angle, or maybe she wears extra padding to keep her due date a secret. And yes, maybe Beyonce isn't actually pregnant.
Do you know many pregnant women who sit down with their stomachs sticking out like that? According to rumors, Bianca ejected Kathy from her home after she gave birth because she didn't want her to start seeing Jay again. Furthermore, there is no chance that Kathy will ever come forward to expose Ba because she is no longer living. Can we also talk about how Ba and Jay were giving the hospital over $1.3 million to shut down the venture floor that Bay was purportedly providing? Was Blue born? Is it ever that serious, I wonder? Unless there's a shady activity going on that the public isn't supposed to know about, of course. Presumably, yeah. People also brought up this incredibly perverse and evil poem from Bianca's song Anger, in which she talks about how she would do anything, even dress in the skin and hair of her ex-lover to be able to hold him to her forever.
If it's what you truly want, I can wear her skin over mine, her hair over mine, her hands as gloves, her teeth as confetti, her scalp a cap, her sternum my bedazzled cane. We can pose for a photograph, all three of us, immortalized. You and your perfect girl.
In an article that has since been removed, Hollywood Street King revealed that he had met with one of the detectives who investigated Kathy's murder, and they told him that her death was a homicide rather than the result of a brain aneurysm. I learned yesterday that Kathy Michelle White had unexpectedly departed, the report states. I immediately got to work investigating it. And guess what? Kathy did not die of a brain aneurysm, unlike what has been widely shared online today. According to a NIPT investigator, Kathy's cause of death is unknown. Later today, we will also receive the autopsy and toxicology reports. The death is being viewed as suspicious, he added. The 911 call came from a Manhattan residence at 130 West 19th Street. Because Kathy was sick, she was transported by ambulance. They carried her to the Beth Israel Hospital, where she died. Speculating that she might have had an aneurysm was too soon. To ascertain the cause of death, an autopsy will be conducted later today. Kathy might have gotten a terrible infection from someone. Therefore, we'll have to wait 2 weeks for the results of a toxicological test. 2 weeks before her death, Kathy was contacted by a major publication that was investigating the Jay-Z connection. She gave them very little information, but according to one of our sources, she called Jay after talking to the tabloid and threatened to make their affair public if she wasn't compensated. This has all happened in the past 2 weeks. The young
Of taking her fairly. She actually died screaming, and the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think? And maybe he just had to clean it up to protect the brand, see? I mean, I'm just speculating.
She wasn't done yet. In a subsequent interview, Jaguar returned and went into further detail about the incident, including the allegations that Beyoncé fabricated her pregnancy and removed Kathy's unborn child from her womb before taking her. As it happens, the kid that Kathy was expecting before
Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant
Jay-Z's
mistress,
yeah.
who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm, just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list. Who the f was these people supposed to go to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is f***ing you. And the boss's boss don't get no. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the fuck you go? when you get f***ed over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go nowhere, which is where people like me step in. You right, I go to Diddy parties to walk mother out, cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come. You Sean.
Hey, man.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate your AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle a bitch like me. You can't even control that goofy bitch. You should have did a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Kathy. Cause you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her. Wonder why?
A renowned journalist, also accused Jay of being accountable for Kathy's demise. Liz was actually getting ready to talk to Kathy exclusively about her affair with Jay only a few days before she passed away. I believe that Kanye West is alluding to people who have Kathy White when he says that Jay-Z has a Mur. The reporter, with whom I had a conversation shortly before the death of your alleged mistress, was eliminated. Everything makes sense to me. I am aware of your actions. Leave yourself alone. Now is your time. You might be able to share a prison cell with Diddy. Justice is on the way, she added. Jay-Z will eventually be busted for spirit cooking, just like Diddy. Kanye stated it for a reason, and Jay is right. I would know. In essence, he is malevolent. I pray that justice will come to Kathy White. False idols will continue to fall. Take note of what I said. According to rumors, Katt has not yet discussed these charges with Jay and Ba in public because he does not want them to threaten him with legal action like they did with Jaguar when she went on Piers Morgan's show. He apparently still believes that Blue isn't Buzz's biological child though, sweetie. I believe that many individuals also concur by claiming that Ba had stolen Blue from Kathy, which supported his allegations even more. Someone said, if Blue was born January 7th, that means when Bianca announced being pregnant, she was allegedly 4 months pregnant, which means her stomach shouldn't have been that big at the VMAs. Back in 2017, I read about this with that deflated baby bump, said another. I didn't want to consider removing it from my algorithm, but here we are again.